This club right here is probably the club that you like to hit the most, but it's also, believe it or not, the most challenging to aim because of the way that it's designed. Today I'm going to show you what I mean by that, and also how you can accurately aim this club right here so you can hit those long drives right in the middle of the fairway. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV, and today I'm here at the beautiful Lone Tree Golf Club in Phoenix, and this place is fantastic. It's a beautiful sunny day, and we're going to learn how to hit the nice high draw, what we call the tour draw, with your driver. So the first thing you got to understand is on the driver, it's different than an iron. Okay, and I'm not a design club manufacturing type of person, but here's what you got to know is the driver has what we call some bulge and some roll to it. So the face actually has some curvature to it. All right, now that's difficult in terms of actually aiming, because unlike an iron where the leading edge is nice and clean, right? The leading edge on your iron is nice and clean and it's easy to put down and see if it's open or it's closed. The driver is a little bit different because the toe kind of curves back, the heel kind of curves back, so it can be a little bit challenging. So how are we going to aim this club? Well, a couple different things you can do. So you'll notice right here, I've got my spot set up here. So one of the first things that I do when I'm working with one of my students, and we're working on their aim with their driver, really any club, is I like to put an alignment rod right out in front of the ball. So that alignment rod is right on my target line. So as you put the driver down, just having that alignment rod in front of you like that is a great reference point for going ahead, for actually getting set up. So let me go ahead and just set in here, and I'm gonna give you a couple more tips on how to aim this club. So I'm just seeing if the club head looks like it's pointed right down the alignment rod. All right, pretty good start. A little bit on the toe, so it turned over a little bit more than I wanted, but that's tip number one. So when you're practicing and you're aiming your driver, or really any club, put something out in front of you, a little reference point. I'm using the alignment rod there. Now, the next thing that we can do to help us with this is really in how we address the golf ball. So you'll notice when I set this down here, one of the things I like to do is set the club face down and actually just hold it with my trail hand and just kind of look down the line. See how I'm doing that with my head? We give the same tip when it comes to putting. When my head rotates this way, that helps me see a straight line. A lot of you out there, when you put your driver down, you just set it down, you kind of come up like this, and you go like, see how my head moved? There's no square lines. But if you come in and you put your feet together, put the club head down, rotate your head this way, instinctively your eyes are going to want to square that club face a little bit, all right? So that's what we like to do. Let me go ahead and hit another one here. Let me go through the process. Then we're going to talk about how to hit the high draw, what we call the tour draw. So here we go. Aim it, look down the line, separate my feet. All right, there we go. Nice and solid right down the pipe. Now, all right, so let's talk about, for those golfers out there who maybe slice the golf ball a little bit with their driver. Here's some of the concepts that we teach to help us hit the nice high draw. So what we do is you come in, we like to put our feet together. Okay, aim the club face down the target line, but we're going to take our feet and we're going to actually slightly close them to the target line. So my lead foot's going to move forward and a little bit towards the target line. My trail foot's going to separate and move back. So notice how my feet are now in a line that's slightly to the right of my target line. Now, why would we do that? So in our tour draw system, we teach some of these concepts of slightly aiming to the right because it actually allows us to swing the club head a little bit more in to out, which is what we need to do when we want to hit a nice high draw. So when their feet are slightly to the right of the target, for a right-handed golfer, that allows the club an easier path to swing from in to out. Now, a lot of people ask, well, what do I do with the club face? So let's go through that. So we're going to put the club face down. Remember, we're going to keep the club face aimed down the target line, but our feet are going to be slightly closed to the target line. Okay, so my feet are slightly to the right, but my club face is pointed at the target line. Now from this position, it's going to allow me to actually swing more from the inside and hit what we call the tour draw. So here we go. Aim the club face, rotate the head down the line, a little bit of a closed stance, and hit it. Ooh, best one of the day right there. Okay, so that's what we do when we teach the high draw, what we call the tour draw system. All right, now, let me give you one last tip here on aiming your driver. Let's tee one more up, because we all like hitting the driver, okay? And that has to do with actually what you do with the club head before you swing it. So A lot of golfers, they just throw the club down, they put their feet down, the club face is laid way open, all right, because of the way that it's designed. But you know now that you're going to aim the club face, you're going to rotate your head down the line to create a square line, you're going to aim slightly to the right, and the last thing you're going to do is you're going to just lift the club head and elevate it a little bit. Now you're going to do that for a couple reasons. Number one, it's going to improve your tempo. Number two, it's going to help you hit more up on the golf ball, which is going to give you more distance. Most importantly, and why you're here today, is it's going to actually help you keep the club face square. Because when you just lay the club head down there, it naturally wants to rotate open. But when you get it square, you rotate your head, you get your feet slightly to the right, and then you lift it off. Now because you're holding it, it's not going to rotate open. So let's go ahead and hit one more. Oh yeah, felt good. So this club is a little more challenging to aim than your irons because of the way that it's designed, but these tips right here are going to help you get your driver aimed correctly and start finding more fairways.